Hi guys, welcome back to the vlog. Long time no talk. Last time I saw you guys, I was reviewing the Wild and Windy book convention in Phoenix this year, and now it is several months later. We are now in April, and I am just getting ready for this big Korea trip that I'm doing in June. Very excited about that. I will tell you guys more about what I have planned later on in the vlog. Right now, I am getting these roots done, which is why my hair looks oh so good right now. I actually stole this idea from some TikToker. I don't know her name. I completely forgot. I feel so bad, but I just saw it really quickly, like in passing on my For You page, and she was like, come with me to dye my hair blue, and she goes to the salon to just get her roots bleached, and then she dyes it blue herself at home. And I was like, oh, well, why can't I do that myself? Because I refresh my pink hair all the time by myself. Why can't I just get my roots bleached and dye my hair pink and save me a little bit of money? So I was so nervous to ask my hairstylist if she was okay with that. And luckily she was. She has no problem with it. She's going to bleach my roots, and then we're going to go home and dye my hair together. My boyfriend's going to help me because I cannot see the back of my head, obviously. So today's going to be a little bit of an experiment to see how this goes. If not, we will go back to full service appointments. But for now, we are at our appointment right now. That's the salon right there. And we are going to go in and get bleached. So let's go see Liv. Say hi. And we are done. Well, partially. Excuse the line where my makeup now ends because I got washed out. But my roots are nice and bleached, and now we are going to go home and color. So I've been using to touch up my hair, I was using Lime Crime's color, and I really like the color payoff, but it washes out so quickly. So I'm trying the brand Pope Riot in the color Blush, I believe. Usually I like to layer my my pink color with like a couple of pink colors, but I just kind of want to give this brand a shot and see how it leaves my hair. And then if I feel like I want to add more like of a corally pink or whatever to it, then I'll just buy it at Sally's and put it over. But this is what we're rocking with now. Roots are gone, so now let's go home and dye it. I'm so excited. Okay, so we are back home. I have my gloves. I just put my hair dye in my little dye cup. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. The dye looks purple. It's not supposed to be purple. It's the only dye I have. So let's just hope it comes out pink. Praying to God. A little moment for blonde Luna. Kind of loving her. I've always said that like this pink thing is definitely like a phase, and I'm definitely just gonna go back blonde at some point, and I do enjoy it. I love being like light. Like this does feel cute, even though I know it's like untoned and there are different like dyes that haven't fully come out yet. I actually think it's cute. I don't know. But this is the dye. You see what I'm talking about? Like it looks purple. I don't know. I'm a little scared. So let's section my hair. I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I'm not a professional. My hairstylist literally just said small sections and just to get it all over. So that is what we are gonna do. Such a small enough section. I don't know. Maybe it can be smaller. All right. Oh, let me take this hoodie off or put a towel on or something. Okay, I'm back. I have a towel. I am in a t-shirt and all or nothing. This looks so purple. I'm so nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I already want to give up on the brush and just use my hands, but I'm trying to be good. Oh goodness, this looks so purple. I really hope this comes out. Okay, that didn't take long. I've migrated to using my hands. Okay. Let me just speed through this and I will come back when my head's hopefully fully covered. Okay, so half of it is done. Hopefully I got the back. One half basically took in entire tube, so thankfully I have two. Let me see if I can squeeze out any more. A little bit. Might as well use all she's worth. I'm a little less nervous about the color now because now that it's on, I feel like it looks more pink. In the container, for whatever reason, in the bowl, it just looked so purple. And obviously I know that some pinks probably have like a pink undertone. I'm more of like a peachy undertone type of girl. But like I said in the car, if I feel like I need to layer this with like a peachy coral, I'll just go to Sally's. Probably try to go sometime today, and I'll just get that if I have to. But I'm hoping that I won't need to. All right, guys, tell me. Did I get the back? Comment below. All right, let's do the other side. Okay, so my shirt is wrecked, but I think I did a really good job. I think I saturated everything. Thank God I had 2 tubes of the dye. Now my concern went from being, is it purple, to me being concerned that it's not pink enough. I don't know. We'll just see. If I end up having to layer it with another dye, I'll layer it with another dye. But so far, I'm excited, and now I guess we just process. I don't know how long to leave this on for. I think my hairstylist, when she would dye my hair pink, she would leave it on for like 45. I'll probably try to leave it on for 45 or longer. I don't know. But yeah, let's process, and I will be back with washed hair and we'll see how it looks. Okay, we are processing. My boyfriend did end up having to help because apparently I missed a spot in the back. Why didn't you guys tell me? So rude. Anyway, I am processing and I am excited to see what this looks like. Okay, so we are washed and I hate it. I don't hate it. It is pink. I like the parts that stuck, came out really pretty. I just don't think this dye is maybe strong enough for like my like overly processed hair. So there are parts of it that are like still like a faded orangey color. I need to go over this. I think I might have to go back to lime crime because even though it washes out, it's completely full coverage. I might also try Arctic Fox. I'll bring you guys to Sally's with me and we will pick up some dye together. I might get both, I might get a mix. Let's see. I did fix my makeup hairline. But right now I'm just gonna style my hair and we're gonna go to dinner at my boyfriend's parents' house. And then tomorrow, which is Sunday, we will go to Sally's together and get this mess figured out. Okay, jump scare. It is the next day. Sorry, I had the AC blowing in the car and my hair is also like damp from the shower, so it's just looking horrendous. But I am at Ulta and a little tidbit I forgot to mention is that this is all happening on Easter weekend. So I know what you're probably thinking, Luna, was it really this important for you to dye your hair pink on a holiday weekend? Couldn't have waited for during the week or the next weekend? And the answer is no. It's one thing when my hair is like faded because I'm about to get it done or whatever. It's another thing when it's like after my hair is bleached. I want my hair to look the way I want it to look at all times, unless I'm getting ready to get it done, in which case I'm a little bit more frugal with, how it looks, because I'm about to go to the salon anyway. So Sally's is obviously closed because it is Easter, but my local Ulta luckily is open from noon till 5 p.m. Right now it is 1 p.m. and I am about to go in and get some dye. I don't think they sell Lime Crime. I think Lime Crime's only at Sally's or online, but they do have Arctic Fox and Good Dye Young, which is Hayley Williams brand. I am a huge Paramore fan. I don't think they have a pink that I really like. They have a color called Ex-Girlfriend, or Ex-Girl. No, I think it's Ex-Girlfriend, and it is bright fuchsia. And the only thing I don't like about fuchsia is that it leans purple. And so obviously, as you can tell by the undertones of my faded hair, I'm more of a peach coral girly. So I don't know, I may get it to like put a few drops in it. I do like mixing dyes, so we'll see. But let's go in and see the selection that they have for pink hair dye. Thank God they're open. So it is called Ex-Girl. This one looks interesting, pink puff, but the Arctic Fox is 30% off, so we are going to go with that. Alright, that was quick and easy. Luckily, the Arctic Fox, like I showed you guys, was 30% off, and they had exactly one bottle each of each pink dye I wanted to get. So we got Frosé, which is like more of like a pastel pink, which I think is kind of like the blush color from Pulp Riot I tried, but hopefully stronger. And then I got Electric Paradise, which is a much bright neon pink, but it looks like more like a true neon pink, if that makes sense. Like, it's not labeled as like fuchsia. So I'm really excited. So I also want to get ready for Easter dinner and all that stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go home, slap this on my head, and then we're gonna do our makeup together. There's some life update things I want to talk about, touching on breaking no contact with family members from, maybe people that have had troubled childhoods that have gone no contact with family members. Maybe have broken that. Recently, I have broken some no contact, and what that kind of means for me at this point in my life, at the age of 30, and the decisions I'm making for the relationships in my life. So I want to touch on all of that. So let's just have a kiki together. I'm gonna go home, slap this dye on my hair, and while it processes, we'll do our makeup for Easter together, and let's just talk. Okay, so we are back. The dye is in the hair. I'm already way more optimistic about this dye, mainly because I can already see the ends of my dye, the ends of my hair rather, which my whole head's really porous, obviously, because the whole thing's bleached. But the over processed part that's been bleached multiple times, which is like the middle to end shaft of my hair, I already saw turning pink, which I'm so happy about. When I put the other dye in yesterday, I noticed my roots took to it, but the rest kind of stayed faded and it wouldn't adhere to the shafts of my hair. And I think this one is. So I'm very optimistic. I think I'm going to leave this in, honestly, for as long as I can. Right now it's 2:00. I think we're gonna go to my boyfriend's family's house for Easter dinner at 4. So I might just leave it in the whole next 2 hours, because why not? And I'm just gonna do my hair. So like I mentioned, I'm gonna go into a little bit of what's kind of going on in my life right now and what I kind of want to discuss, and the changes that are happening in the relationships within my life. And yeah, so let's just dive in. I have all my makeup. I have no idea what kind of look I'm gonna go for. I don't know if I want to go like crazy colorful. I have some fun makeup that my friend Fatima gave to me, that she was so kind to gift to me. So let's just see where this takes us. By the way, if you see me looking down a lot, I have you on a tripod, and then I have like this is obviously my vanity, but I don't have like a cool thing to like yet anyway to put my like phone on my vanity facing me. So I'm facing to the side of my vanity, and I have a mirror set up on a little table so I can do my makeup actually facing the tripod. So I'm not doing this all the time. I might still do that if I need to grab something, but in case you're wondering why I keep looking down and applying my makeup, it's because the mirror is like right here. But yeah, so let's get into it, and yeah. Right, so let's take these off and let's get started. Wow, I cannot see. Thank God this mirror is close. So first things first, let's just rip the band-aid off. I broke no contact with my father. I have been no contact with my father for a year. I have done previous stints where I have been no contact with him far longer than that. Same goes for my mother. So let's kind of dive into why I chose to do that. What happened recently was my father actually lost his mother. And while obviously that doesn't excuse anything that happened in my childhood, that doesn't excuse anything that has happened to me at either his hand or his neglect, it did kind of put some things in perspective for me that made me go, okay, maybe this is something that will, I know you should never break contact in hopes that like someone changed, but I really just decided that I had more empathy in me that outweighed, how do I say this? It's so weird. I feel like I don't know how to say it. Like I genuinely don't have the words, but basically, long story short, I decided to kind of dip my toe back in the waters, and it's been not bad as of yet, and it's very much a learning experience. So something I've learned with getting older is that, while boundaries are extremely important, it's important to establish boundaries. And I do want to make this perfectly clear. It is never a child's fault for going no contact with a parent. I know that's like common knowledge, but just in case it needs to be reiterated in this video, if you have to go no contact with your parent in order to be mentally healthy, in order for your life to have stability, in order for you to just be an overall happier, healthier person, that is not a result of you as a child. It is a result of them as a parent. So I just want to make that abundantly clear. So, that is a decision that you had to make to protect yourself against the harm that they inflicted. So I don't want this to be a video that's apologetic towards abusers. I want this video to be apologetic towards abusers. I do not want this to be looked at as, something for people to work towards to eventually break no contact. If you are happier in no contact, doesn't have to be with a parent, it could be with anything. It could be with an ex, a friend, and any type of relationship that you've had to remove because of the toxicity or the reminders that it gives you of a painful past, or whatever your reason may be. It could be anything. If you had to remove someone out of your life for your betterment, and it can stay that way for the rest of your life, and that can always be your boundary, and that boundary never has to change, and you are correct in that. So I just want to state that off the bat. Just because I'm talking about decisions that I've made recently does not mean that I think that this is a healthy decision that other people should also embark on, because it can be extremely painful. It could be ripping the Band-Aid back off. It could be putting lemon right back on those wounds. And it is a risk, a calculated risk, that I am currently taking in my life that I do not take lightly, that I am very much treading lightly, and I just want to make that like abundantly clear. So if you're watching this and you're thinking of breaking no contact, I don't want this to really sway you in either way to do it or not. It's solely my experience as of right now, being broken no contact for maybe about a month. Okay, so now that that's out the way, let's do my makeup. By the way, the freeze frame in the background, I love Zach Campbell. If anyone here is a really big music nerd, and I love him, I feel like me and him are one and the same. Everything he thinks about pop music, I think the exact same way, and I love his critiques. Obviously he got famous off of doing like reactions and things like that, but I love his takeaways. So that's who's freeze framed in the background. But let's get into doing our makeup and to why the hell I'm talking to my father again. So, like I mentioned, he did lose his parent, which was my grandmother, recently. I wasn't extremely close to my grandmother. We spoke two different languages, not metaphorically, I mean like literally. She spoke Spanish, I speak English. I wasn't smart enough to just naturally pick up the language as a kid. I don't know if it's like an ADD thing, like I don't know if I had trouble paying attention or I just didn't care enough to pay attention, but my parents spoke to me in English. Obviously the school I went to in New Jersey, everyone spoke English, so it just never adhered. So there was just, I just never adhered to it. So me and my grandmother quite literally have never had a full-fledged conversation because of that. She lived in Dominican Republic. I'm half Dominican, half Puerto Rican. I guess nationality-wise, you can get into the logistics of it. I took a DNA test. Turns out I'm not from the Caribbean at all. I'm from South America and Iberian. But That's where my family on my father's side is located, and that's where he went for the funeral and all that stuff. So going into, maybe I should go into like why I'm no contact with my father. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to go into the extreme details as to why I'm no contact with my father. Not because I honestly care about about protecting him. I think once you I think once you inflict harm on somebody, especially a child, you lose the right to that anonymity. If I'm saying that word right, you lose that right. So it's like if that person decides to speak on it in graphic detail, if they decide to not speak on it, it's completely in the hands of the person you harmed and what they decided to do. I'm personally, as of right now in my life, deciding not to put that all over the internet, but to just kind of touch on basic themes of my childhood: domestic abuse, alcoholism, uh, child abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, all those types of things played a part in my childhood, a big part of my childhood that actually both my mother and my father played a part in. For all intents and purposes, you can kind of say they were both my abusers. Maybe at different times in my life, maybe not always consecutively, but they both had played their hand in the trauma and the PTSD I now have as an adult that I am now medicated for. So with that being said, I have decided, decided feels like such a strong word. I have recently just decided that it's okay to maybe just have like a texting relationship with my father, just to kind of test the waters and see how it is. I did this unintentionally, not even knowing about the state or health of his mother. And then it just so happened that within the same month of me talking to him again, that she ended up passing away. At this point, I told you guys it's Easter. She quite literally passed away a few days ago. She passed away like this past Wednesday. So it's all very recent, all happened very fast. She was 92 years old. So she lived a life, you know. It definitely wasn't anything tragic. It's how everyone hopes to go. Long life, went in her sleep, peaceful, no pain, no nothing, no pain, no suffering. So it really wasn't a tragic death. Of course, any death, losing anybody is sad to at least some extent. But for all intents and purposes, you know, she lived a good life. Well, good, I'm not sure what she had been through, but a long life, yes, for sure. So my father went there and he went for the funeral and all that stuff. It all happened within 2 days of her passing because, like I said, it was planned. They knew that she was going to pass on soon. So, you know, with him playing a part in my life, and even my mother, you know, my mother's a controversial one, to say the least. And by controversial, I mean I'm currently in therapy, and I have been told by this therapist, by another therapist, by another therapist, who recommended another therapist, that I be no contact with my mother. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. While it was an easy no-brainer to go no contact with my father, for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, I know why, but it has always been hard for me to go no contact with my mother. And the reason being is because I know more about my mom. And what I mean by that is that I know what she's been through. As a child, she lost her parents at a young age. She's just, my mom has not had it easy. And I know that that's not my problem. I know that that doesn't justify how she's treated me, anything she did in my childhood towards me. I quite literally, in my therapist's words, did not ask to be here. I did not ask to be brought here. I wasn't up in heaven sending them a telegram saying, hey, get pregnant soon because I'm trying to be out this bitch. I quite literally did not ask to be here. It's questionable if I had the choice, if I would have even have chosen to be here. So, let's get that out the way. But it's just so hard, that guilt, when someone has been through something and you just can't help but, feel sympathy for them or empathy for them. And it really clouds your judgment. Also, my relationship with my mother, to say the least, with all that being said, obviously that's rocky in and of itself. I'm trying to find a palette. I don't know. I have this really cute... I know I wanted to do something colorful, maybe something different, and maybe I still will, but I'm just pulling out my tried and trues, my Sailor Moon. I have the entire Sailor Moon ColourPop collection, the first one they came out with. I love it so much. My boyfriend got it for me as a gift. But yeah, I don't know, it's Easter. Maybe I'll do some of those cute purples. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But yeah, so, needless to say, and my mother knows, I've been upfront with my mother, that, against medical advice, she is in my life. But I am trying to do my best to keep my boundaries and figuring out what that means in relation to, people in my life that have hurt me, people in my life that, because kind of referencing what I said in the beginning of the video, is that when you are a victim, you can decide who to forgive. You can decide who to never forgive. You can decide that what someone did to you was so unforgivable that all you can do for your own sanity is to move on and let go, and that means let go of them. And all of those different paths are correct. If it gets you to a happy and healthy you, all of those paths are correct. So I'm trying to figure out what my path is. Admittedly, have I been no contact with my mother for extended periods of time? Yes. Was I happy during those periods of time? Also, yes. Was I happy when I was no contact with my father? Yes, very much so. So I think sometimes, and this is me calling myself out, I think sometimes I fall into this pattern with my parents, where it's almost like I go so long without talking to them that I almost forget. I forget's the wrong word. I don't want to say I forget what they did. But I almost, because they say time heals all. And I feel like so much time ends up being put in between the event that happened and where I am currently, that as that gap gets wider, my empathy also becomes higher. So, I'm just trying to navigate that. I'm trying to figure out what that means for me. And who knows, 6 months from now, a year from now, several years from now, 2 weeks from now, I could be back here sitting right in the same spot saying that I'm no contact with my mother and father, and I have decided that is what's best. And I am deciding to give myself grace because, ironically, what a good thing to talk about on Easter, grace. I am deciding to give myself grace and decide that there is no uniform way for me to deal with my trauma. And there is no uniform way for me to get closure. There is not a wrong way, there is not a right way, because there is not a wrong or right way to be a victim. So I hold all the balls in my court, and I'm learning to feel my power within that. And I'm learning to find my power, my strength within that. So with all that being said, I have been talking to my father. Obviously with the passing of his mother recently, just general, checking up on him, making sure he's doing all right. I've never lost a parent. So, I've been fortunate enough in my life where I've never lost a loved one. My grandmother is actually my first loss. And like I said, we weren't close. So, it's still a different experience, I'm sure, for him than it is for me. I know that for a fact. But yeah, so we've been talking. Again, nothing serious, like just checking on him, very general things. But I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna take me. I don't know where I intend for it to go. Something I do know, which I'm very happy about, is that I am no longer seeking closure, which is so big. And I think that's why so many times in the past that my attempt to regain contact with either of my parents usually ended up going south, was because I was looking for something they weren't capable of giving me. Like I'm I'm beyond the point. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've gotten an apology from my mother. I've gotten I've gotten some semblance of kind of an apology from my father. I honestly couldn't give a fuck anymore. I realize that, like, you're the loser for hurting me. Like, you're the loser for hurting a child. You're the loser for taking your grief and anguish that you have from your own past experiences out on a child that didn't do anything to you. No child does anything to deserve anything negative, because they're children. So I've made peace with that. I've realized that they're the ones that need to make peace with what they've done. I don't have to settle anything. I don't have any scores to settle because I've never hurt anyone. They have to sleep at night. I don't. I don't have to figure out how. I sleep very easily. And it took me so long to figure that out, because I think for a long time I victim blamed myself. And I literally was like, I must have done something wrong. I must have been this bad kid. I must have done something to deserve this type of like hostility and treatment by the people that brought me into this world. But the fact of the matter is that I did it. And they're the ones that have to look back on everything, and they have to face what they've done. And the only thing that I see when I look back is a little girl. And that's it, So it's just, I don't know. I'm like actively like thinking it through while I'm talking. Because this is the first time so much is like, this has all been so new and all so sudden. So this is me like sitting down and actually like talking about it and like thinking my thoughts out loud. So if there's a lot of like ums and pauses and me like backtracking and repeating and stuff like that, that's why. It's because this have been a lot of like new life updates and changes and decisions I've made all within the last like 3 weeks, which is a lot. And then on top of that, I'm getting ready to go to the other side of the country in June. World. I'm going to Asia, going to South Korea, and that's my biggest excursion of my life. So it's just so much is happening. Not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. It's just a lot of change. So if you see me, so basically what I'm trying to say is that I got a lot going on. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much what's been going on. So like, I've been trying to navigate that, and and like I said, I can decide at any point to revoke access to me. And that's one thing I really wanted to talk about, is that you are allowed to revoke access to you whenever the fuck you deem it necessary. You don't need a reason. You don't need a cause. There doesn't need to always be a cause and effect. Like I keep on reiterating throughout this video, and I will continue to reiterate, you need to do what's best for you, for your mental health, your well-being, mental, physical, every aspect of your well-being. And whatever protects you, you need to do. So I am sitting within my power now as a 30-year-old woman, and I'm no longer the hurt little girl, and I know that I've done nothing wrong. I know that there was nothing I could have done to avoid the things that have happened to me, because they were done to me. They weren't a reflection of my actions. They were a reflection of how someone else felt about themselves, and then they projected that harm onto me. And that is their bed to lie in. It's not mine. So, you know, if I decide to talk to my father, great. If I decide not to, just as great. And I want to make this clear, because I've already said it a million times in this video, you are allowed to do that. You can revoke access to yourself whenever you deem necessary. Having access to you is a privilege. It's something that has no price tag. It's something that has no, there, you can't put a value on it. You know, you are your most prized possession, and who has access to you is solely your choice and your choice alone, and you can grant that access and revoke that access whenever you deem necessary. You can change your mind a million times. You can decide once that you've had enough, and you can never speak to that person again in a day in your life. And each version you go about, each way you can go about that is the correct way to go about it. That means you are prioritizing yourself and taking care of yourself in the way that you should be. Okay? So I am trying to keep that in mind while I'm currently breaking no contact with my father, and you know, still debating how long, if I'm gonna continue to be in contact with my mother. Again, it's just the guilt. I'm my mother's only child. I'm sure a lot of only children feel this way, that have had like traumatic childhoods. If you are an only child and you've had a traumatic childhood, obviously I can only speak from that perspective. I don't know what it's like to have like siblings that live under the same roof as you, that experience the same things. I have half siblings, but we had different mothers, and we grew up in two entirely different ways, in two entirely different places. I really don't have a relationship with them. So, you know, I can't speak to what they did or did not go through. I simply do not know. But, you know, being an only child to my mother, because I'm her only kid, you know, that comes with like such a heavy burden for me, or a burden I should say I put on myself, because every time I would go no contact with my mother, I would always think about, you know, what if something happens to her, or not that if I'm being honest, not that I'm even necessarily in a position to really do something, but, you know, there's a lot of guilt there, you know, about like, you know, my mother's in her 50s, and what if I stop talking to her and I'm the last person in her life, because she pushed everyone else away, that is willing to put up with her, and is, you know, and then I think about her being in her place alone. But again, I have to remind myself, like I'm gonna remind myself now, is that that's not my fault, because her actions got her to where she is, you know, not mine, hers. So I don't know, I really don't know I don't know. Right now, is it, bottom line, right now, is it causing me harm to be in contact with my parents in this very moment that I'm living in right now? No. Am I hyper vigilant for if it turns that way? Yes. And if it does, then I have to do what I have to do. And I have to protect my peace. But yeah, anyway, so that's what's going on in my personal life. Other than that, let's talk about something more fun. Korea. Very excited. So let me tell you guys about some stuff we have planned. I can't wait to take you guys along with me. I cannot see, and I'm trying to find my eyebrow stuff. We're going to a Magic Mike show. It's not called Magic Mike. I think it's called Touch Live. I'm sure you've seen videos of it if you know what I'm talking about. It's like these like really hot Korean men dancing, and it's like women only entry, and it's just gonna be such a blast. I've never been to anything like that. It's like a Chippendale type of thing, I guess, if you want to compare it to something like westernized. But that's gonna be really fun. We're also going to like a military tour zone, demilitarized tour, I think is how my friend called it. We're gonna visit temples. Of course, we're gonna go to Olive Young. Of course, we're gonna go shopping. I've always mentioned that I love Remy Ashton and Alicia Marie and their friendship, and I love their Korea vlogs. They just recently went to Korea and Japan, and I've been watching their vlogs religiously, just taking down notes of like where they went and what they did and what they ate and what they bought, and I cannot wait to go. Yeah, so that's gonna be so much fun. And so here's the thing, I found my I was gonna say I found my eyebrow stuff, but I couldn't find my eyebrow brush, but I got it. So that's gonna be fun. We have run into a snag though, so let me tell you guys what's happening. Our flights are fucked. And what I mean by that is that, well, I quite literally mean that. So we're leaving June 2nd, and we all went through hell and high water. Obviously, listen, I'm not Remy Ashton, you know, I'm not a big time influencer. The only reason I'm able to go on this trip was because I met Kyra, my friend, who was kind enough, gracious enough to invite me with her group of 4 other women that I have not met. I know. You're going to the other side of the world with people you don't know. We're in a group chat. We're fine. Listen, if that's how I'm meant to go out, that's how I'm meant to go out. Calm down. But you know, like, so because we're splitting it so many different ways, it's the only way I'm able to go. So some of us did like a buy now, pay later option for the tickets or whatever, but we all made sure that we were on the same fucking itinerary. Girl, why did we all get put on different flights? Like, we're all playing phone tag. Like I said, some of us bought directly from Korean Air, some of us bought through third parties, and our flights aren't like booked out because like we bought them like 6 months in advance, so there's no reason why so many of us would just put on a different flight for the hell of it. So, like, at least we don't think. So we've been trying to figure it out. There's one girl who got put on a totally different flight, and they told her that it would cost $1,300, $1,300 to go back to the flight that she originally booked. So now, currently, we're trying to play Tetris with this, and we're trying to make it work. We're trying to make things fit, and I think right now what the goal is to just switch our flights to what her flight is. So the irony too is that of course that's had to happen to the one person who's never been on a plane before. So like, I know, first time on a plane and you're going to Korea, that's like most people go to like Disney or something. We're in New Jersey for reference, so like Florida's like a 2-hour plane ride. But yeah, so she obviously, none of us need to be alone. We're all women. We're traveling alone to a foreign country. None of us want any of us to be alone. But we especially do not want her to travel alone, because it's a frightening thing getting on a plane, regardless of how many times you've done it. And for that to be your first time and to be alone going to the other side of the world, that's insane. So, obviously, she doesn't understandably want to pay $1,300 to fix her flight that they changed. So we're trying to get put on her flight. So I don't know, hopefully that works out. Hopefully they don't tell us that we have to pay $1,300. I don't really know. But I know one thing: hell or high water, we're gonna be in Korea in June. We're gonna be in Korea. I'm gonna be in a Family Mart. I'm gonna be in a 7-Eleven. I'm gonna be getting Sandos, and it's just what's going to happen. It's a non-negotiable. It's been like, it's just been kind of a mess. But other than that, everything else has been great. We've been planning everything. We're going to like some like K-pop show out there. I think my friend said it was like Korea's version of like TRL. If anyone knows like TRL from back in the day, I'm probably aging myself. I don't think anyone under the age of like 25 knows what TRL is. But it's like that, and we're buying tickets to that, and that's gonna be really exciting to see. I know we were even trying to see if we can go to like a full-blown like K-pop concert while we're out there, but we don't like, I think it was like hard to tell if anyone was gonna be on tour at the same time, because there's like, my friend Kyra was telling me there's like usually like a schedule that they follow, that K-pop idols follow with like comebacks and stuff like that, and we're leaving in June, so it might not line up with anything. But either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. While we're out there, we're also flying to Jeju or Jeju. I think I had a customer at my day job, I think, say it was Jeju. It's spelled Geju. I don't know. And please forgive me if both are wrong or whatever. I really don't mean to. But we're also flying there for a few days while we're out there, so that's really exciting. I don't know if we really have plans. We're only going to be there in Jeju. We're only going to be there for like a day, like a day and a half. So I think I know it's an island. I think the plan there is just to like relax, and it's obviously a part of South Korea, and so it's not like we have to enter a whole other country. And yeah, so like that'll be really fun. And what else has been going on in my life? I'm trying to think. Breaking no contact with my father. Okay. There always has to be something dramatic. I'm going to Korea, and I think that's pretty much all that I have going on, all that's been on my noggin. No, I kind of look like I have like pink eye right now, but I actually really like it. Like usually I would put like some like liner on. I don't think I'm going to. I actually think it looks kind of cute. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to, I did my eyebrows, I did my eyeshadow. I think I'm just going to move on to my base now. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on. So the Korea trips, obviously, like I said, it's kind of off to like a semi-rough start just because of the whole flight situation, but I'm praying we just get everything fixed. Like what happened to like my own flight is that they moved me off. So my flight's going from New Jersey, Philly, because that's my closest airport. So it's going from Philly to Boston to Incheon, I think it's how you pronounce it, or just I'll just say South Korea for the sake of not wanting to butcher too many places. But my flight leaves at 10. Everyone else's flight, besides the one girl who, like I mentioned, they got put on a totally different flight, leaves at 6 a.m. So, but we figured out that I was still on the same flight to Korea from Boston. So basically they had a longer overlay in Boston, and then by the time I got there, it was only an hour overlay, and then we're all gonna go to Korea together. which would have been fine, again, until it came to realization that the other girl was still on an entirely different flight than all of us. So her flight goes from Philly to Detroit, and none of our flights go to Detroit. And, you know, again, we're trying our best to stick together. And it makes me wonder, like, does this happen to other, probably not, probably doesn't happen to other people, because we use buy now pay later service. I'm sure all these other, you know, established YouTubers and influencers that can just afford to go to Korea, like business and first class, don't have to deal with like last minute seat changes or entire plane changes that are just made on their behalf because they didn't have to buy it budget friendly. So I'm sure that they're probably prioritized more. But yeah, that's kind of like the reality of what's going on. But it'll be so fun to go. Regardless, like I said, we'll get it figured out. And you guys will kind of come with me while I like make these like friendships, because it's only like 2 months away, like a month and a half away. And you're gonna watch me meet these women while we travel with me. While I sorry, apparently I cannot blend and talk at the same time while this happens. You guys are gonna be with me while I meet these women and travel all at the same time for the first time together, so like that'll be really cool. Hopefully they don't get too annoyed that I vlog. I will let them know ahead of time, so you know, if they do not feel comfortable being on video, of course I will not record them. If I have to, I'll just try to keep it mostly to myself. You gotta respect people's privacy, so I hope I'm not, you know, the annoying person with the camera. I'll try my best to not be. I don't wanna be the annoying one in the Airbnb is what it comes down to. We are staying at an Airbnb because, again, there's like 5 of us. So it was just easier and more economic friendly versus getting a hotel. I'm not going to lie. Do I want to go back to Korea and get a hotel? Yes. Because I watched these Remy Ashton vlogs, and I'm getting my Airspun powder out. And the hotels that they stay at, the breakfast, I'm a whore for a good hotel breakfast. I am excited to basically live out of the 7-Eleven when we get there, but I'm a whore for a good hotel breakfast, so I definitely want to do this trip again, but at a hotel, for sure. By the way, the whole time while I'm like doing this and like talking, my boyfriend is sleeping in the living room on the couch. He went golfing this morning. He loves to golf, and he went, and he had to go at like 8 a.m. and like, you know, like, that's a sport. Like, it's a workout. It may not be a workout I understand, but it's a workout. So he is currently passed out before I'll probably have to wake him up before we go to his parents for Easter dinner. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. Very exciting. Oh, also, so I'll just tell you guys about it because they're already packed and ready to be shipped. But I made gratitude gifts for my friends, so just in case one of them ends up seeing this before they get their box in the mail, I'm not gonna say what's in the gratitude gifts, but it's something that I'm really excited about. I'll probably show you guys what I got my friends in another video, because I got myself a matching one too. So we're all, you know, we all have something in common. But it's a gift that I actually saw on my phone years ago, and I remember thinking like, oh, if I had friends, what a sweet gift this would make. Like, I feel like it's very thoughtful, you know? And now I'm very blessed to be in a position where I have, you know, friends that I can get the gift for. So very excited about that. So I got it made for them. I got it off of Etsy. So very excited for them to receive that. And I am just setting my face all over. Obviously, you just saw me bake, so now I'm just setting my face all over. So let me just beautiful. I look like a ghost. Gotta love it. I love airspun, yo. It's what the drag queens use. Listen, it's $5.99 at Target. It's a big container. A little goes a long way. I had the kimchi puff pass powder, and it was $19. And I'm not saying that it's bad, because I don't think it's bad. I think it does as advertised. I just feel like every time I try a different setting powder, even I've tried Laura Mercier, the OG, of course, $40 setting powder. You know, as much as like I've tried the OG Laura Mercier $40 translucent powder. You know, the powder that's as much as a high-end foundation, and it's good. It's good. I'm not even like listen, if just it's just that like the rate that I go through setting powder, I would go through like I bought Laura Mercier once because I was scarce with it, and it still didn't last me more than like 2 months. Like it didn't last me. And we're not in this economy. A $40 setting powder when airspun exists is just, I don't know. If anyone wants to send me the Laura Mercier, by all means, I'll take it. This is, what is this? This is the Sailor Moon blush. It's called Cat's Eye. Who loves Cat's Eye, by the way? The pop group, are they considered K-pop? I know they're based off of K-pop. I think they're considered like a global group because of the multiple ethnicities. I don't know what they are. But I love the show. I love, what's it called? Pop Academy? Academy Pop? Something. I feel so old. Like Luna, you watched it. But I just forgot what it was called. But I love those girls. Anyway, now I'm applying blush. I'm jumping all over the place with my topics. But do you guys know that OF creator and also like social media creator, Ari, oh God, how do you say her last name? I'm sure everyone, if you know who she is, you know who I'm talking about, but I don't think her name is pronounced Ari. I think it's Ari, A-R-I, and Katsu or Katsa, something. The point I'm trying to get to is that I'm in love with her makeup, and her blush placement, and she's done like makeup, tutorials that I've tried to follow, and I actually followed her makeup tutorial for my, passport photo. Obviously, if you're American, you know that your passport photo now is actually in black and white, which kind of sucks. But I took some cute selfies that day, okay? And I now am obsessed with like adding blush to my nose and using it as the contour. You know how people put like the little line as like a contour? She uses blush as her nose contour. And she also adds like freckles, and she does like a lot of cute things. She's also stunning. She's also honestly like one of the most prettiest girls I've ever seen, and she's so transparent about like work she's had done, as in like plastic surgery, which I appreciate so much. I appreciate whenever any influencer is open about that, because you know I don't have the funds to, but I would love to kind of get some work done someday. Nothing extreme, mostly because not for any like morality reasons or anything. I have no issue with plastic surgery. I don't heal well. I'm that person that like will get a paper cut and will have a band-aid on it for 3 weeks. I bruise easily, I scar easily. I fully believe that even if you're the best surgeon in the world, on my skin, the way my skin reacts to things, you're like, you could make the smallest incision, you're gonna see where that incision went in. So I probably would never do anything drastic, but I would totally get like well, I have a really round face, so maybe not fillers, but like preventative Botox I would totally get if I had the money to. Things like that. But she's had like a nose job, she's talked about, she's had lip filler, but she looks so natural. Like, if she wasn't open about it, you would just think that she's like stunning, you know? And she is. Like, that's not like up for debate. Like, she's definitely stunning. I'm just a huge fan of her. I've never seen her spicy content. That's like her bread and butter, so to speak. That's where she makes the majority of her income, at least that's how she makes it seem. But she's also like a fantastic singer, and she's also really funny. Like, I really like her personality. But yeah, just a huge fan of her. I don't know if anyone knows who I'm talking about, but if you don't, you should go look up her content. If you like funny skits, or if you're just a girl that likes girls, I feel like her content's for you, because that's definitely the vibe I get from her. And I know what you're thinking. That was a lot of blush. It was. Let's add more. This is the Juvia's Place Soft Tulip Glow. This is like their highlighter / blush combo. And I love it. I love Juvia's Place products in general, because this is all you need. And obviously, as you can tell with me doing my makeup, I'm pretty heavy-handed with most things. So if I say this is all you need, that says something. And then I just like, if I use a sponge, I'll do it with a sponge. I'm just grabbing this because this is just what's in front of me, what I was already using for my base. And I just kind of stipple that in, and it gives such a nice shine to the cheek. And it's nice to mix over powder blush, because now I feel like I look more flushed and less powdery, you know? I'll just kind of touch my nose with that too. But I just love it. And now, as you can see, now my beauty mark is covered because I have all this on. So I'll take like a black liquid liner, and I'll just like put a dot over where my dot is. That way you can see it. And after that, I think we're actually done. Oh, I need mascara, eyeliner. I'll be back. We're not done. Had to put my glasses on because I couldn't find where my liquid eyeliner went. Oh, okay. So like I mentioned earlier, my friend Fatima gifted me so much brand new makeup. A lot of it was Urban Decay, which, so generous, right? So one of the things I got was this purple eyeliner in Vice, which looks so pretty. That's kind of, I don't know if you can see, but that's kind of like the color. And it's like a really deep like plum. I keep opening the palette thinking there's gonna be, that's the only thing I don't like about some palettes from like ColourPop, is that like not all of them come with a mirror. I hate when a palette doesn't come with a mirror. Like, just help me out. Don't make me juggle two things. Like, come on. And let me just, again, apparently I can't talk at the same time while I do this. Just gonna put this on my waterline. Oh, it matches my eyeshadow perfectly. I love it. I'm gonna take it to the top too. Oh, accidentally ran on my lid. I'll just smudge it out with my finger, no big deal. I guess I'm doing the same thing on the other side, so let me just make it even. There you go, now they both have smudges. Anyone ever hate that they like keep their mouth open when they do eye makeup stuff? Like, what is that? I feel like such an idiot. tell you one thing, Urban Decay eyeliners glide on like butter. I think they're like $18 a pop or something like that, but gosh, are they worth it. Like, so pretty. They're black color. I forgot what it's called, but it used to be my go-to eyeliner when I was a little emo in middle school and high school. Used to beg my mom to buy it for me at like Ulta. Eventually I switched to Maybelline because it's actually better, not because of the price. But I had no business wearing $18 eyeliner to high school anyway. But yeah. But that's so pretty. Look at that. Look at all that purple. Very cute. Okay. Now my tried and true Colossal Maybelline mascara. Alright, mascara is on. Now my makeup is pretty much done. I did notice the corner of my eye here wasn't blended, because again, I'm doing this makeup without contacts. So it's a little, until I get really up and close and personal or put my glasses on, I really can't see what I'm doing. So my makeup today definitely isn't as like precise or neat. So I mean, you guys aren't here for a makeup tutorial anyway, so and I'm just going to go over this with some setting spray. I'm gonna drown myself, excuse me. Second kind of setting spray, Urban Decay. Let that dry. Really need to buy a fan. Alright, makeup is done. I think it's cute for doing it, you know, without really being able to see the whole time. It is now 3 o'clock. It's 3:15 to be exact. I think we want to leave at like 4. So I'm probably gonna rinse this out like at like 3:30, come back with my hair styled, and we'll see what the outcome of this Arctic Fox is. Alright, so it is several hours later. We got back from Easter dinner. This is what my hair looks like, pretty much totally dry. Obviously, there's still like dimension of different like levels of pink, which I actually like that it's not solid. I like that there's like different dimensions. I just wanted it to be very pink, more pink than the other dye left me. So I absolutely love it. But it's time for me to take my makeup off and take it down for the night. Tomorrow's the start of a new week. Gotta get back to work. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching.